Hello and welcome back to another 1001 Beers You Must Try Before You Die.
Hello.
Here with Mike and Cal again from By the Mash Tun podcast you find Kaiju FM or on any good podcast retailers. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we've got another beer for you here. This is a beer I brought back from Bologna. It's from Birrifico Le Baladin. It is first brewed 2004. It's 10% and it's Elixir.
So it's an amazing bottle.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it's got a wax top of it. So I was going to try and explain to you a bit about, so before we crack into this, about the sort of the Italian craft beer world.
Yeah.
It's mad. So I went to Bologna and there's all these craft beer breweries spring up everywhere. And I went to all these craft beer bars and they all had the keg craft beer, but pretty much all of them had one cask beer.
Right. Okay.
And it was always stout.
Right.
And I said, "Why have you got this?" I said, "This is mad." I said, "What am I supposed to come to Italy and find this cask beer?" They went, "Well, all this new craft beer is such a new thing in Italy. All of them learnt how to brew in Britain."
Right. Okay.
Yeah, fair.
And they love stouts so much, and they learned that actually the stouts and the porters work so much better on casks than keg. And they brought back a few, and it started selling so well because people liked like a stout or a porter that wasn't fizzy.
Yeah.
So now all these craft beer bars have got stout, mostly imperial stouts, but it was a really interesting thing. Whereas all the other beers were on keg, but so this is fascinating sort of emerging scene of craft beers. Same thing actually in Spain and Portugal. It's kind of Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Whereas actually it's been more of a thing in Belgium, Netherlands, a little bit in France and Germany, and especially in Scandinavia as well. The sort of Mediterranean countries are only just really getting to it. So, and this brewery had been around for one of the more mature craft beer breweries, but only been around since sort of early 2000s.
Okay.
This one obviously 2004. And this beer itself, well, I think we should probably crack it open and try and work it out. There's a lot to talk about it, but how are we going to get into something that's...
Yeah, we've got a little...
Hey, Mike, how about you do the honours there?
The professional barman.
The professional barman.
Come on.
Go on, Mike.
Is it going to be like cork underneath? Or is
It might be a cork underneath.
It's got wax on top.
It's got wax,
of it.
I have no idea.
All
Let's
right.
find out.
I reckon it probably will be a cork underneath.
Okay. I'll probably fuck
It's
this.
the first beer I've done which has wax top on it.
Yeah, cork.
It's a cork. Wow, there we go.
Bloody
So,
hell.
Bloody
Good
hell.
thing you've got the corkscrew there, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at this multi-tool.
yeah, proper wax, nicely branded wax there.
Yeah, well, like the bottle makes it look like a Belgian brewery, like a brewery that's been around for hundreds of years. Just the style they went for.
So the thing to say about this brewery is the brewer is an experimenter. So that's why the beers are very much about experimenting. It's not... I've had one of the beers before from another Italian brewery which we're talking about, which is Brewfist. It has a Basement IPA, which is a very nice beer, but it was very much like an American IPA. So not that exciting. Nice, but not that exciting. So
Not too far down.
but whereas this guy, I was saying about the British, a lot of them learn to brew in Britain.
Yes, yeah.
This guy learns to brew in Belgium. So it's a different kind of...
So they have different influences then.
It says since he learned how to brew, he simply followed his dreams. This journey has included some fairly unorthodox methods. For example, headphones are attached to fermentation tanks to see what kind of music that he enjoys.
Yes. Mike, we need to try this.
Yes.
Elixir is an example of his desire to challenge people's expectations of beers. So Elixir undergoes fermentation with a sort of yeast strain that is normally used in the whiskies of Islay in Scotland.
Right.
It could be called a demi-sec beer, having the sort of gentle sweetness that you would find in champagne. Given its strength, this beer is best as a nightcap. Well, tough.
Yeah.
But it says, although considering Muso's, which is the name of the brewer, love of matching beer and food, it's also welcome on the table. Try it with game and mature cheese. So, tasting notes: copper colour with brilliant orange tints and a thick, persistent foam. Charming nose with plenty of fruitiness and a distinctive note of fudge. Complex and warming in the mouth with hints of dessert fruit such as dates. A very long but dry finish. This sounds like a fascinating beer.
Yeah.
So,
And quite a struggle to get into.
Yeah,
well done.
You've earned it.
This is not a normal...
That's nice. Look, even
Wine
the
bottle opener.
cork is branded.
Oh, that's
Brewery.
amazing.
Yeah, so this is good stuff here. Interesting shaped cork as well. Right, so, Mike.
Yes. I think I've earned my sample of this.
I think you have, yeah.
Struggling with that.
It seemed to be a bit of a struggle for you there.
Yes. Go on.
I'm looking forward to
Look
this.
at that.
Looks and sounds outstanding.
I've no idea if it's bottle fermented, so we're just going to give it a go. doesn't actually say whether it is or not. So there's still some beer in there. I don't think it is fermented. I don't think it is bottling additions. Don't think they've quite got to that level of maturity yet. So it looks like it does in the book. So looking at it, it's kind of a hazy, orangey colour. A little nice bit of carbonation on there.
Yeah.
What does it smell like? Ooh. Don't read.
That is complex.
Orange, I'd say. Orange and fudge.
Yeah. No, it's definitely got that kind of caramelly sugar taste, smell to it, and that citrus.
Very sweet malt as well, like that really like pale malt sweetness, but taken to an extreme.
Yeah.
Which is probably what happens in a 10% beer. But
so this has been sitting in my beer stash since April, so it's not really old, but it's also not really new either.
Yeah.
I don't think it says when it was brewed, but I don't think it's been sitting around for that long. Best before June 2019. So yeah,
so we've got some time.
Yeah, we've got no time now. We've got to drink that a lot. So
it's open.
Should we go for taste and see what
I
this mad beer tastes
go.
like? Cheers.
God, that's easy. That's easy.
That is too easy.
Wow.
It's really sweet to start with, and the sweetness lingers all the way through, but it isn't oppressive. I can find sometimes with sweet beers that they can just be too much. Whereas that works really well.
It hasn't got a sweet after. Well, it has got sweet after, but it just sort of tails off.
Yeah.
You got an initial hit of very sweetness, and it sort of tails off into something else.
So is there a list of not only beers that you'd like to try, but beers that you'd like to try again?
Yeah, there are lots of beers I've had in here, which if I see them again, I will absolutely have them. In fact, I often say...
This one?
I think this one I'll definitely have again.
Yeah.
There are often beers, and I often talk about beers, this one probably is not a candidate for this, but some beers I have in bottles and I go, wow, this would work in X vessel.
Yeah.
So some beers I have in here, which... especially the dark beers, where I say, "Wow, this would be amazing if it's fermenting gently in a cask."
Yeah.
Or a beer where I go, "Oh wow, this would be amazing if it was on keg." You know, there are those things. This I think would still work best on keg. I think the fizziness actually really works in this. But there are absolutely beers I've had here which I want to have. There we go. There's that. There's the beer I was talking about earlier. So the best beer I've had.
Right.
These guys was Ballast Point Victory at Sea. Again, it was a 10%, but it was amazing. But there have been some truly incredible beers I've drunk. I'd never had Old Peculiar. I just opened up
Never had Old Peculiar?
I opened up the book at various pages here. I'd never had Old Peculiar. Lovely beer.
Yeah, have you tried it on cask since you've had it in bottle?
I've never seen it cask, so that's one I saw and went, right, that would work really well on cask. I wait to see it on cask.
Yeah, it does. If you get yourself up the Lake District,
that is a great beer. It's now just called Hanlon's Port Stout, but that was a great beer. There has just been some amazing...
We're getting really distracted.
Yeah,
this beer is lovely, by the way. This beer is lovely.
Yeah, it's been great beer. This is, again, Balladin, brilliant brewery. Really enjoy everything they do. We didn't talk about the bottle.
It's amazing.
It's powerful.
It's really nice. Yeah. The design, so that all their beers...
Is that embossed as well?
Yeah.
No way.
Really it's embossed. And
there's like secret little images underneath. There's like leaves and...
Yeah.
All like tiny little images underneath.
It's really
very bold.
Quite an interesting brewery. Probably the best brewery I've had from Italy so far. There aren't that many Italian beers in the book because obviously it's such a mature, such a fledgling market. But when there is a sort of a mature brewery like this,
it is interesting. Like in the book, it's got a foil sealed top, whereas here it has a wax seal top. So I'm wondering whether or not they started with that and then moved to a wax seal because it was fancier.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's why you
probably.
do it.
I mean, they've changed the design. They've just changed the colours. They haven't changed the sort of.
I really like it. The bottle is very striking. Doesn't give you too much of an idea of what to expect, though.
Well, I mean, what style would you say this was?
I don't know.
I would say it was a lightly hopped double red IPA.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. That's what it tastes like to me. In that it's got that sort of just the malt creeps in. It's reddish but doesn't dominate. It's reddish in colour. It's strong, so it's double.
Does it taste at 10%?
No. Oh no.
It's another one where if somebody gave me that and they were like and started drinking it, I'd be like 6-7%, and I'd be drinking it a lot. If I see this, I'll be buying this.
Well, again, it's mad because you see a lot of European beer come to Britain. I've never seen this brewery ever in Britain. I'm sure it exists somewhere. I'm sure it exists somewhere, but Baladin are one to keep an eye out for, definitely. And we're going to have another one of theirs later, which is their 14% beer, which I don't even know what style that's going to be. Mike's really excited, also terrified at the same time.
Yes. Mike's always excited.
And terrified.
Yeah.
And that's a nice touch.
And look at the little design
branded corkage.
Well, isn't that nice?
That is brilliant.
They've made little touches with their beer, which I think are really quite special. And this is quite new. So even though I've had 2 beers by this brewery before, they were keg before. I had them at the brewery bar, so we had them at a table. This is the first one I've had actually bottled. So I've experienced their packaging as well, and they got this nice emboss on the. I like it when breweries emboss their glass. I think that adds to a sort of extra bit of sort of care and attention. And there's not a lot to say about it in the back. There's almost nothing here. I feel like they're letting the beer speak for itself.
Yeah. Very subtle.
They don't want to give you false impressions or like big it up too much. It's just like, just drink it, just try it, and then let us know what you think.
You got a little ingredient list there. That's good.
Oh, it is non-pasteurised and re-fermented in the bottle, so I've just read the Italian there. I think it's quite obvious to see that means non-pasteurised and re-fermented in bottle. Even in Italian, that's quite obvious. Well, I don't really care, to be honest. I think we can drink the rest of that without too much effort.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Should we leave it there and drink the rest of this lovely beer?
Yes,
back for another beer.
Why not?
Okay, right. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for another beer review soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.